Hello and welcome back to Road Trivia, the once-a-day road trip trivia quiz. Today is day 17 of the 365-day trivia road trip. This is a full year of random trivia quizzes. There's 20 questions up front on these quizzes, and at the very end of each quiz is the question 21 tiebreaker, if you need to stick around for that. Thank you guys for watching, and good luck on today's episode. Question number 1. This man patented a smokeless propellant known as ballistite. Another one of his inventions consisted of diatomaceous earth. What is the name of the scientist who also created dynamite, whose namesake prizes are given out by the Swedish Academy of Sciences? The answer is Alfred Nobel. Question number 2. After the Hindenburg disaster, this gas replaced hydrogen in zeppelins and blimps. Because the speed of sound in this gas is much faster than that in air, inhaling it causes a high-pitched voice. What is the name of this lightest noble gas with atomic number 2? The answer is helium. Question number 3. This poet of the Children's Hour also wrote of a man who saw 2 lamps in the belfry at the Old North Church, indicating that the British were arriving by sea. What is the name of the poet who wrote Paul Revere's Ride as well as the Song of Hiawatha? The answer is Longfellow, Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Question number 4. Their lead singer, Chris Martin, was married to Gwyneth Paltrow from 2003 to 2016. Clocks is by what band whose other songs include Strawberry Swing, The Scientist, and Yellow? The name of that band is Coldplay. Question number 5. The 7 heads of the beast described in this book are often interpreted as the succession of 7 Roman emperors during the 1st century. What book of the Bible also describes the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse? The answer is Revelation. Question number 6. Prior to the war, the Korean peninsula was divided along what parallel of latitude, with U.S. forces occupying the southern portion and Soviet troops occupying the northern portion? We're looking for what parallel of latitude? It was infamously divided along the 38th parallel. Question number 7. He nominated George Washington for Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Army, and he later succeeded Washington as President. What is the name of this man who served as Washington's Vice President before becoming President in 1797 himself? The answer is John Adams. Question number 8. In general, this non-conservative force is equal to the normal force times mu, its namesake coefficient, and it converts kinetic energy into internal energy. For a given object, the kinetic variety is less than the static type. What is the name of this force between surfaces that opposes the motion of an object? That force is friction. Question number 9. When Jim gets trapped in a shack near the end of the Mark Twain book, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, what is the name of the character who oversees an impractical 3-week rescue mission? That character is Tom Sawyer. Question number 10. He called for the Council of Nicaea and issued the Edict of Milan. He was the first Roman emperor to convert to Christianity, and he established an eastern capital at Byzantium. Who was this Roman emperor who lent his name to the city now called Istanbul? The answer is Constantine I. Question number 11. This artistic movement applies small dots of color onto a canvas to create an image. It is exemplified by George Seurat's Sunday Afternoon on the Island of La Grande Jatte. What is the name for this painting technique? The answer is Pointillism. Question number 12. Much of their music focused on chivalry and courtly love, typical themes of medieval times. Their talents displaced minstrels at many European courts. What is the term for these musical bards who performed lyrical poetry during the High Middle Ages? The term we're looking for is troubadours. Question number 13, starring Millie Bobby Brown, Noah Schnapp, and Finn Wolfhard. The first season of the Netflix hit series Stranger Things was released on July 15th of 2016. In what decade is the popular show set? This show is set in the 1980s. Question 14. This musical's songs include Iowa Stubborn and 76 Trombones. What is the title of this Meredith Willson musical about the con man Harold Hill, who takes advantage of naive Midwestern townsfolk? The answer is The Music Man. Question 15. He suggested that the city-state should be ruled by philosopher kings in a work that also includes The Allegory of the Cave. What is the name of this teacher of Aristotle who wrote The Republic and several other dialogues featuring his mentor, Socrates? The answer is Plato. Question number 16. The presence of this organelle distinguishes eukaryotes from prokaryotes. This organelle divides into two during mitosis because DNA is found here. What is the name of this information processing area of the cell? The answer is the nucleus. Question 17. This city contains the Neo-Gothic votive church, and its Karlskirche is the largest Baroque cathedral north of the Alps. It lies on the Danube, just upriver from Bratislava, the capital of Slovakia. What is the name of this capital city of Austria? The answer is Vienna. Question number 18. The pen name Franklin W. Dixon was used by multiple writers to depict what literary series of adventures about Frank and Joe, teenage boys who solve mysteries in the city of Bayport? Frank and Joe's last name was Hardy. They were the Hardy Boys. Question number 19. In one of this author's stories, Harry fights with his wife Helen over a gangrene infection on his leg. This author also wrote a novella about an admirer of Joe DiMaggio who fights with sharks on his way back to Havana. Who is this author of The Snows of Kilimanjaro and The Old Man in the Sea? The answer is Ernest Hemingway. And question 20. This owner of Bucephalus ensured the fall of his main enemy at the battles of Issus and Gaugamela. What is the name of this son of Philip II, a Macedonian king who was tutored by Aristotle and who defeated Darius III and conquered the Persian Empire? The answer, Alexander the Great. All right, that is it for today. Thank you for watching today's episode of Road Trivia. This is day 17, moving right along in the 365-day trivia road trip. Check back tomorrow for day 18, or if you're just now joining us, you can go back to the very beginning. We have a playlist that keeps track of all these. We've actually got two different playlists, one with all of them, and then one with just the pit stops, which is like the lightning rounds, the faster trivia quiz. So if you just like the quick questions with the faster answers, you could just play the pit stop trivia. If you like all of them, you could just play the whole playlist of 365-day trivia road trip. And if that's not enough for you, we have over 1,000 other trivia quizzes from the last few years that you can go back and watch as well. Here is question 21, the tiebreaker for today's trivia. The series and its characters were created the year before by cartoonists Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, who published the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic book in what year, financed by a tax refund and a family loan? What year was the very first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic book published? The first TMNT comic book came out in 1984. And still going strong today. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow.